Welcome to the Just Word Podcast. I'm Pat Bolland. The Just Word Podcast is brought to you by Justwealth, investing the way it should be, just for you. On this podcast, we often talk about personal finance and the need for education in personal finance. Well, a university, McGill University, has done something about it. They're offering a new program. And we got the professor. Benjamin Croitoru is the Associate Professor of Finance and Academic Director, McGill Personal Finance Essentials. And he will join us right after this break. Benjamin, a real pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Pat. It's wonderful to be with you.
Benjamin, explain to me exactly what McGill is offering.
Well, we're very excited to be offering the McGill Personal Finance Essentials course, which is an online course that's absolutely free and available to everyone. So everyone can join. It's not just for students. The way it works is that the course consists of pre-recorded modules that cover the various stages of one's financial life. So, for example, you have a module on the basic principles of compound interest. You have a module on borrowing, a module on budgeting, a module on investing, a module on real estate, and a few others. And so the total amount of time that the video modules last is about 3 to 4 hours. But because the modules are pre-recorded, our learners can watch them on their own schedule.
So it's 3 to 4 hours total. It's not each one of the segments is 3 to 4 hours.
Absolutely.
So ostensibly, you're looking at maybe 30 minutes for each segment?
Roughly. And probably the most important thing I want to stress is that we've designed the course to be accessible to everyone that has a little bit of motivation. So the course does not assume any pre-existing knowledge, because we felt that's really where the need is. Something that's open to everyone, because we feel that everyone can benefit greatly from learning about personal finance.
Why are you offering it at this time? I mean, personal finance has been around for a long time. I mean, wouldn't it have been natural to do it years ago?
Probably it's something that should have been done even sooner. But one thing I want to say is that in the current environment, people have to take control on their personal finances. It's more important than before. And the reason is that because of the economic changes that are taking place, because of the demography, people cannot rely on public systems, especially pension systems, for their financial security the way previous generations probably did. So I think it's become more important than it used to be to take control of your personal finances. And of course, I don't think I have to tell our listeners this, but the current economic environment is particularly uncertain. Really, we don't know where the markets are going. We don't know where the economy is going. And that means that the value of being in control, of understanding a little more is even greater.
Okay, so given that it's an online course, how many students are you expecting, or how many are already enrolled?
Well, we've been very pleased with the success of the course, because in 3 years we've had over 200,000 people who have signed up for the course.
200,000.
Yeah.
So there was a real need in the community for personal finance.
Absolutely. So I'm very pleased. Of course, this is higher than the number I expected, but I also feel, again, personal finance is something that should be of concern to everybody. So that means there are still millions of people who probably don't know that much, because unfortunately the educational system is failing them. Why? Because I really feel that personal finance is something that should be taught, let's say, at high school level. everybody should be exposed to it, and it's not really happening.
But if you're doing, say, 30-minute segments on all these areas, is it enough time? Or is this just an introductory course and you anticipate there will be more courses? So a complete suite of courses on real estate, for instance, in the future?
Well, I actually feel that, yes, of course, if you want to become the best investor possible, or if you want to work in finance, there's a lot that you need to know. But I also feel that, what makes the most difference is the basic principles that don't take a lot of time to teach. So I really, for example, I teach the module on investing, and I really believe that in less than 30 minutes, it's possible to teach what, in my opinion, makes, I'd say, 80% of the difference. So I really believe that finance looks complicated. Of course, you have literally thousands of choices to invest your money. But the key principles that make most of the difference, in my opinion, are quite simple. And they don't take a lot of time to teach. And I would say for people who are really curious, really motivated to learn about finance, there are a lot of resources that exist already. There are a lot of great books. But we feel that where there's the most potential value added is, teaching the very basics of finance to the greatest number of people possible.
Are
That's what
most
we're
of
trying to do.
your registrants Canadians, for instance, or will you get international students?
The majority actually don't have. It's a good question. I'm sorry, I don't have the latest numbers. But I believe we do have a majority of Canadians, but we actually have people from all over the world who have taken the course. And probably this has to do with the international reputation of McGill. We're a very global university with a lot of international students.
But
And the
you're
course,
focusing on international concepts, so that would fit the profile.
absolutely. I mean, the course, of course, is targeted towards Canadians, especially as far as institutional details are concerned. But the basic principles of personal finance are the same all over the world. Really, the differences across countries really have to do with vocabulary. For example, a TFSA, a tax-free savings account, that's a specifically a Canadian measure.
But by the other token, compounding of interest is a universal concept.
Absolutely. Component of interest, diversification, the importance of minimizing the fees that you pay on your investments, things like that, that really make a big difference. Of course, they are the same. These concepts are the same all over the world.
In your experience, and you must have taught students in the past, have students come in with any knowledge of personal finance, or is it just personal experience that they've figured it out?
I think you have. I know it's all over the spectrum. I think you have people who already had a keen interest in finance that took the course, and people were absolute beginners, and probably some people who learned some lessons the hard way. Because if you don't know the basics, it's easy to make costly mistakes.
I hate to be a cynic, Benjamin, but when I think of this and McGill offering this and 200,000 people signing up for this, is it kind of a marketing pitch for McGill? Because if so many people are registered with McGill, then they'll come to McGill, won't they?
Yeah, I mean, I'm very happy that this course is hopefully going to raise the profile of McGill, the profile of the Desautels Faculty of Management where I teach. And then if that means more students want to study with us, that's great. But I still think we're hopefully we're also helping a lot of people. We're happy to help people who will not come study with us.
It's interesting. Google was the first internet company that was very successful by offering free products, if you will. And here's McGill offering a free online course. And Google, of course, has expanded that to other offerings, the original product lines. I think we're probably Gmail or something like that. Is McGill planning more free offerings?
So what we are doing is that the course was originally launched almost 3 years ago, and we've been updating it. So we've redone some modules, and now we're actually in the process of shooting some new modules that are going to be added to the course in the coming months and later this year and also next year. So we are about to add a new module on retirement planning. And then next year, and it takes a little bit of time because we're trying to do the best job possible. Next year, we will add modules on some issues, some topics that have become more and more relevant, sustainable investing and cryptocurrencies. So at this point, the plan is to improve the course by improving the existing modules, adding some additional modules on new topics. That's the priority at this point.
Professor, it sounds fascinating. I wish you tons of luck.
Well, thank you so much.
Benjamin Croitoru is the Associate Professor of Finance, Academic Director, McGill Personal Finance Essentials. That's a tongue twister, Benjamin. Thanks so much for joining us.
It was wonderful being with you. Thank you, Pat.
Thanks.